Hello, Internet. So today we're going to discuss some of the progress we made yesterday. Had a couple setbacks and made some progress. Really made the book look a lot better. Like in a bag and board, it's just going to look night and day. And we'll get to more in a second. So just let's look at some photos of Strange Tales 169. Okay. Hope you're doing well today, and I'm excited to share this process with you. Okay, so this is before treatment. Okay, and you can see just terrible water damage. All right, and it got into the spine, and it it did a number on the spine. You'll see that later on the back of the book. This is a full view. A lot of it was on the top. There is some bottom damage, but primarily the top of the book just got ruined. And here's the after. Pretty good result, right? Like bright whites, no more water damage at all. I did try to dry this under pressure, but could not prevent the small amount of shrinkage to the cover, which is what I think the red flag is at CGC. Interior cover, you can see lower left side, lots of wrinkling, lots of water damage, crinkling on the bottom of the interior cover. Beautiful splash of Brother Voodoo. I think this is Gary Colin. This is after. Nice flattening of that lower portion. And here you can see the water damage is gone. Now there's like this residue, like you can just see it's a different white. This is 2 hours of light treatment in the 430 nanometer light provided by Immaculate Comics. And I didn't want to go much further. I didn't want to over whiten, so there's still some slight yellowing, but I think overall it's a pretty sweet result. Again, this is that lower portion of the book. You can see some water damage, some ink bleeding. I'm not sure what that is or what causes that, but so this is what should have been after this. Good result. There's this terrible stain. I don't have an after of that particular area yet. I'll add that to the album. This was all just done. So page 3, major crinkling, still some of that ink bleed through. Back cover, just real bad crinkling. Entire back cover pre. This is back cover after. Okay, this needs another press. I've got some. It looks like the release paper sometimes wrinkles up, and that's a result of that. I do not think that's going to be an issue to get out. This is before. You see the thickness of that water stain upper right corner. It did a lot of damage to the book. It weakened the paper. You can see the lower left side. Yeah, that upper right corner didn't stand a chance. Here it is up close. Just a deep wetness. It surrounds the staple. You can see that the heaviest soiling is right around the staple. And this is after. Not bad. Not a bad result. I can still see a little bit, but like much improved. Now what you'll notice here is that the process resulted in some spine splitting, and unfortunately I was unable to keep the cover attached. There was a millimeter of paper left between the staple holes. When I took it out of the washing machine and let it dry, I saw the splitting. While it dried, I think it split a little further. It is what it is. The the customer understood the risk of this treatment. I think overall the book looks a lot better, will be easier to resell, and would probably grade higher, even though there's a detached staple. And cover shrinkage, which may lead to restoration. So Rick Morgan has worked on a solution to that, and he's created an Amaki dryer, and hopefully we'll have one of those real soon, and we can move onward and upward and prevent our purple labels. That's the hope. That's the hope. Okay, so I think this is after. That's before. That's after. No H2O. That's the title of today. That's after. We need another press. And I could whiten the back cover, further, but I just don't want to. I don't think it needs it. I don't want it to look too doctored, I'm upset by the detachment, the staple tear. I was so close to having it, and when I got the staple in and closed it, there was paper there, but closing the staple, it just fell. And I think that's just that paper weakened over time. It's a pretty serious process with the application of peroxide and water, and it's just kind of hard on the paper. And so, I think it had to be done to the book. As you can see, it looks way better. It looks way better. We can, right there, that's a turd. You don't want that. But you don't mind that, Even detached, the whites are bright. Like I said, this is going to present very well in a Mylar. This is going to look really good. It's a key book. The cover's clean. This is something somebody could be proud to hold and look at. So I think overall I'm happy with the result, and I learned a little bit. I wouldn't even know how to prevent what happened from happening. I didn't add any stress to the book. It was just it is what it is. I think the paper was just weakened over time, and unfortunately, we lost a staple. So I have become much better at staple removal and staple replacement. So I don't really think there's anything I could have done. And I know I've already said that, but I'm okay. I'm okay. So I've spoken to the owner of the book, and he understood, and we're moving forward. I will say that this little devil right here is pretty tough. This is a thick sticker residue that was a remainder, and I think I'm just going to give up on this book. It could use a full treatment. Look at the interior. That is tan and stained. I may do it just to kind of do it, but this isn't a high value book. This would take me a couple hours. I'm doing these books for free, and it's just this has a hole by the staple. Okay, you can see the hole by the staple, and I'm just not sure it's going to exist after. There's no way. It may be possible to get the staple back in, but it's not. It's not going to be easy. And it just might not be worth the time. It's a low grade, low value book. This sticker residue, I don't think, is any longer adhesive. I don't think it's going to stick to the bag or anything. but I'm just not sure I want to put the time into this book. I'm not sure it warrants it. So you can see this hole, and that's before anything. So I just don't see that staple surviving. And maybe I'll speak to the owner and tell him, what I think. Very tan. I mean, it's super khaki. That is just, just to get just to get an understanding. This is white. That's not white. That is very brown. So, he told me, he gave me the stuff that he couldn't handle and that he wanted me to try to figure out. So I think this one is a lost cause at this point. Got Wonder Woman 206 in the light right here. It just needed a kiss on the back cover, and we'll get that figured out in a little bit. And Marvel Premiere 15, still working on that stain. I decided to put it back in the light. After pressing it, the stain was too there. So we'll see what happens with that. And, we'll be back later tonight to discuss further. I will be pressing Captain America 217 today. I did add light to this. I think the back cover looks a little bit whiter. I was able to clean a little bit of this stuff off. I'm not removing the cover to wash. Even though there is a couple small stains, I just don't want to risk any resto grade on this. In case the owner wants to submit it. Has this huge tear right here, but might squeak a 3 out of it. I don't know. I think with a good enough press, it might squeak a 3. It's got this burn hole in it. I don't know. See, I think keep it raw, sell it raw, let somebody read the book. That's my view on it. But he hasn't asked me what to do, so he's gonna figure that out himself. But anyway, it's a lot of work yesterday. Did a ton of stuff on these books. Had other stuff going on too. So I did hear from Rick, and the Amaki dryer will be available soon. He was going to. He's got a lot going on. As usual, the guy's really busy. So I will say that the pan stuff that I did not work. And I can show you some photos of... That's what I'll do. I will share with you some of the measurements I made. This is the Wonder Woman book. Okay, this is after the spine roll repair. This is, okay, so this is after bath. I measured it. You can see it's 17.5 centimeters. And here is after wet. This is a close-up of the 17.5. It's like, it's 176 millimeters. This is the 0 point. And here's after it dries. You can see it's 174 millimeters. So we've got a 2 millimeter loss in size. And I think that's enough to measure. Here's the 0 point of the dried part. So my pressure pans did not work to resist shrinkage. I ordered these. I think these were delivered same day. So, these do not work. And they do leave some dimpling. I think that'll press out, but we'll see. So, yeah, you see there 173.5 millimeters. Something like that. So, okay, these were emails that I was able to send to Rick. So, before... 176 millimeters, after 174 millimeters. I think that's a significant shrinkage. I think that's a real problem. If I'm washing these books and they're shrinking 2 millimeters, that's noticeable. You can pull a ruler out at CGC, measure the cover, and say this thing's been washed. We've got shrinkage after water application, and that must be how they are determining restoration. I can't think of anything else other than, like I said, phantom problems, things that should be there that aren't. But how can, what an assumption. You know, it's got to be the shrinkage. So I'm looking very much forward to the Amaki-Dryer, and we'll have one of those real soon. And we'll start messing with that and fooling with it and see if we can't get some good clean submissions. I will be making submissions soon. I just got to put a group together. I like to do a full submission, a 25 book submission. I'll probably do a modern submission. I don't know about a standard or an economy. I've got plenty to submit. I just not really ready, and it's a lot of money. So so there's that. But all right, I think that's going to do it for today's show. Not much going on in the way of like wanting to process anything else right now, and we're just going to get back to it. So tune in tonight, 8:15. I'll be back with some 8 o'clock with some more info, and should have Wonder Woman finished and Captain America finished, and we'll be ready to return this to the owner. So, all right, thanks. Have a great day.